Greetings, my friends! Today we're gonna talk about a strange subject, which is warriors and long hair. We know that the Spartans were suggesting to their young men to have long hair, because they used to say that nothing can make a good-looking man more beautiful and an ugly man more terrifying than long hair. We all live and die wondering which category we fall into. A lot of depictions of warriors in the ancient and medieval time, especially in Central and Northern Europe, showed the warriors to have long hair. Today we're going to talk about why that was happening, since I am qualified to do so. I've had long hair for several years of my life, and even though I didn't continuously keep it long, I was sometimes cutting it short when I was tired of it, and then I was letting it grow again. Now, long hair is something designed by nature, and things designed by nature aren't random. They have a purpose. They're good at something, so to speak. So, what is long hair good for? First of all, it is protective. It is padding. If you have just skin here and you get struck with a piece of wood or whatever, or you just fall down and hit yourself, if you have nothing here, your skin immediately will get damaged and grazed. So the impact of whatever will be bigger. But with hair, what happens is that the hair gets destroyed and saves the skin under and maybe the skull. So it does act like padding. Now, imagine all those warriors that were wearing helmets and they needed some kind of padding on top. Of course, they had padding that they were wearing under the helmet, but the hair is an extra free layer of padding to put the helmet on, and you know, it helps. It helps. It doesn't make a world of difference, but it's surely something nice to have. And now to the more important reasons why hair is good for a warrior. Having hair is like having a natural woolen hat and scarf, if it's long enough, mine isn't yet, at the same time. And now of course it's wet because I just came out of the shower, but when it is dry it's even more fluffy, and it is quite warm, I have to say. My experience and the experience of other people that cut their hair short is this, that they were immediately freezing, especially if they did it in the winter. Now, if you add a beard, then you also have a frontal protection to your neck and a face mask, in modern terms. And that is why the Vikings, for example, looked like they did. Long hair protects against the loss of warmth from the head, obviously not only because it is like wearing a woolen hat, but also because it creates an insulation, a layer of insulation where the air gets trapped and doesn't let under the hair, and then doesn't let the cold air take away the warmth from the head directly. It insulates it this way. But also consider the rainy conditions in the northern countries. Hair is also reasonably waterproof. Not really waterproof, but it kind of directs water to the outside. It's like a thatched roof in a house. Those of you who have long hair know how difficult it is to get the lower layers of the hair wet when you are showering and want to shower all of it. That is actually handy in a rain, because it keeps most of the rain from reaching the head and evaporating, this way taking away the warmth. Now, you may wonder, if it's so good, why don't warriors of today have long hair and they have the shortest hair possible? There are reasons for that. First of all, the Renaissance was a bit of a changing period, because during the Renaissance, what was happening is that the populations were increasing greatly because of all the, advancements in technology, and also because of other socio-political reasons that allowed for the creation of a bigger population in every city. So that meant that the hygiene conditions in the cities was becoming worse and worse. They just simply couldn't catch up with the hygiene that was required because of the increase of population, with the works, the advances they were making in hygiene. So, long hair offers a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties for staying clean, First of all, it's much more difficult to clean, to keep clean, to maintain than short hair. And also, it's a nice breeding ground for fleas and things like that. So, what is the simple solution for getting rid of all these problems once and for all? Short hair. Doesn't need, to be taken care of so much. And when it does taken care of, it needs like a tenth of the time that long hair does. Really, like it's much easier. Of course, there was still the image of the noble in long hair. Like, long hair was still something very iconic and beautiful for the people of the time. So what they were doing is they were cutting their hair short and they were wearing wigs. Which today we think is a little funny, but back then it was a great fashion. Of course, after a time, even the wigs fell out of favor and people just had short hair, which was much easier. Now, let's talk about some disadvantages of long hair. Long hair is nice and helpful, but if you are walking against the wind, it is going the right way. If you are walking together with the wind, it's such a big problem, especially if there is a strong wind. It gets in your face, it limits your visibility. Actually, I would say that's the biggest problem of long hair to a warrior, the visibility, the limiting of the visibility when it gets in your eyes. That's why they were often finding some ways to keep it in place. There are many ways, I'm not going to mention them all, but a simple hairband does work for the most part, but not completely. A lot of hairbands work better, or twisting the hair together like women do nowadays, but men used to do as well back then, also works. Another thing that most people, I realize, don't really know about long hair and the fashion of nowadays is that, have you heard about the square cut mane? Those of you who have read a lot of Conan the Barbarian know that that's the haircut he had. And in fact, that was a favored haircut of knights. What is that? You see, now I'm having my hair on the side completely. So the front hair is on the side. That's, of course, in order to not get in my face. But if this hair was like that in my face, imagine it being going to all directions normally, then what happens is that it limits my visibility. So what I can do is actually cut the front hair straight to the level of my forehead, so that I have like a window from which I can see. And that's the reason why it was the favored haircut of a knight. Of course, you only see women doing that today. It would look really weird if a man cut his hair like that. Although it kind of fitted Bruce Dickinson. Check that guy out. He's the singer of the Iron Maiden. Not how he is today. He doesn't have long hair anymore. But how he used to be. That's the haircut of the knights. So, I'm starting to worry about where this channel is going, since we're talking about hair and fashion. I'm just joking. Don't worry, it's not gonna be a habit. I just thought that it's an interesting aspect of warriors and war in general, so I thought to bring it in because I see nobody doing it. So, until the next time, thanks for watching and bye-bye.